Alright, so the second part to this video, we're going to take a look at karma and liberation as it occurs in Jainism. And each soul in Jainism is pure, but it becomes impure over time by contact with matter. Matter, we've learned from the previous lecture, ajiva, A-J-I-V-A. Each soul is born pure and then becomes impure over time by contact with ajiva. Now, karma means deeds. You're going to see this word karma come up again in the context of Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism. The term karma is present. In each context, it means something slightly different, so keep that in mind. Karma meaning deeds, and their negative results from influence of ajiva. A soul may be reborn in one of four types of living being: humans on earth, beings in the 12 heavens, beings in the 7 hells, animals, and plants. So all karma for Jains is bad karma, and the goal is for humans to stop the influx of new karma and resolve all previous karma. And by doing that, Jains believe they can become free. Now, moksha is another term, M-O-K-S-H-A, moksha. And this is the release from reincarnation. Liberation is prevented by accumulation of karma. Sorry, my printer's going off here. Also, let's see, liberation demands near perfect observance to principles of Jain practice. I'm going to skip down. Okay. One more slide, and then we'll talk about what I think is the main, perhaps the main tenet or main aspect of Jainism. There are 5 cardinal virtues in Jainism, and these cardinal virtues are moral principles directed against practices that harm jiva of self and others by increasing attachment to jiva. So here are the virtues, 5 of them. 1 is do not harm. 2, speak the truth. 3, do not steal. 4, do not be possessive. And 5, be chaste. Now that first one, do not harm. This is the one that seems like this is the one that from the outside it strikes one as the most perhaps central aspect of the religion. Now you've seen actually in the image that I chose for this video, you can see on the screen these Jains are wearing like a cloth in front of their mouth so that they don't accidentally breathe in any microscopic living beings. So, this level of nonviolence goes very deep. And it's not just in Jainism, it's also in Buddhism and Hinduism as well. But radical nonviolence. Now, this concept is called ahimsa, A-H-I-M-S-A. Ahimsa. It means fundamental moral command to do no harm to any other living being. So compassion for all of life is a central tenet for Jains. Monks and nuns practice strict ahimsa. Laity have a prohibition against taking life needlessly. Now, you can, I should say, there are videos that I've seen. I've never been to India, but there are videos I've seen where monks and nuns will brush this path in front of them so that they don't accidentally step on any small insects. They have a little whisk that they use to brush the living insects away in front of them. And then there's also when Jain nuns and monks are meditating, they are very careful to, if they move the cloth of their robe too quickly, they think that perhaps they would disturb or kill or harm a small insect or some kind of living being. And so they'll often move the clothing very slowly and so as not to disturb any living being. So it's a radical sense of nonviolence. Then there's do not steal and do not be possessive. So according to Jainism, you must not take any object not willingly or fairly given. That's a good idea, generally, no matter what religion it comes from. Must be satisfied. So a Jain must be satisfied with what one has. You must work, purchase, and sell honestly. Always, as a seller, always give a fair price. Never take things offered. Never take things left, dropped, or forgotten by others. And never purchase things made in a way to harm others. Now, interestingly enough, these are just like great business practices generally. And so Jain how do I say? Jains make for some very good business people. So I've seen a few videos where there are textile mills and that are very, very successful in India, run by Jain individuals, and they and I think these things just help other people be able to trust that Jains are going to go into a business relationship without, in just sort of an honest way. You can trust that there's going to be some honesty on the other end. So let's see. We're going to take a look at one thing before we stop here. Jain rituals and worship. The life of monks and nuns. So there's a strong sense of self-denial and self-control to attain liberation. The daily ritual activities for Jains, monks and nuns, are scripture study and recitation, meditation, begging for meals, teaching laity. Now, begging for meals, that we could stop there for a second and just expand on that. It might look, from our perspective, begging for meals might be seen as something negative or something like I don't know, less than. Beggars are something of an annoyance to us in our society. But begging for meals in this culture is, when a Jain monk or nun stands with a bowl ready to accept like whatever kind of food that someone offers them, that's not something to be looked down upon. In those societies. It's I don't know, maybe something similar to like in our society, if we just gave a little money to Salvation Army or something like that. So it's just a different concept. Let's see. And they always walk Jain monks and nuns always walk barefoot to protect small beings. They're constantly moving to avoid attachment to people and things. Okay, last one here. No cooked food. They don't eat cooked food. They don't shave or cut hair. They wear unstitched white cloth for those that wear cloths, because there's actually two groups in Jainism, and one of the groups they're completely naked. So for the group that wears cloth, it's unstitched. There's a Jain blessing that says, "May you attain spiritual prosperity." There's no class, caste, age, or gender distinctions made. That's important. No class, caste, age, or gender distinctions made. This is part of the big Reformation attempt. So this religion, in that it doesn't contain the caste system that we talked about, was present in Hinduism. And it models wholesome life and righteous existence for all Jains. And then Jains may practice what's called a holy death, or a self-starvation at the end of life. This is something extremely foreign to us, but you could look it up, do a little bit more research, or you'll learn more about it in your book. But look up this concept of holy death, self-starvation. So literally just stopping all intake of food until you pass away. And that sounds like depressing or scary, but for those people who perhaps your grandmother or grandfather went out that way, that's a real honor. I mean, in the Jain community, to that's a very like righteous and virtuous act, for example. So, all right, I think I'll stop it there. That should just give you a little bit of an introduction before you read your text. And if you have any questions, please reach out through email. Have a great week.